Sometimes I wonder, Sophie, how a simple habit like reading can quietly change everything. Not in a loud way, not in a dramatic way, but slowly, deeply, from the inside.
I know exactly what you mean. Reading doesn't push you, it invites you. It asks you to stay, to listen, to think. And when you accept that invitation, something begins to move inside you.
When I started reading in English, I didn't feel confident at all. I felt small. I felt lost. I felt slow. But I kept going, page after page, sentence after sentence.
And that's where growth begins. Not when you feel strong, but when you decide not to stop. Reading teaches you that progress doesn't need applause.
It teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches acceptance. You accept that you don't understand everything. And strangely, that acceptance gives you power.
Yes, because when you stop fighting the language opens itself to you. You stop translating every word. You start feeling the meaning.
Reading helped me organize my thoughts. Before, my ideas were messy, disconnected. But books showed me structure, how ideas follow each other, how verbs carry intention.
Verbs are alive in books. They don't sit alone. They move, they act, they react. Reading shows you verbs in motion.
And that's why reading improves speaking. You don't memorize phrases, you internalize patterns.
Exactly. You learn how people really express fear, hope, doubt, love, confidence. You learn tone. You learn rhythm.
I realized that reading changed the way I speak to myself, too. My inner voice became calmer, more precise, more patient.
That's beautiful because language shapes thought, and thought shapes identity.
When I read stories, I step into other lives, other cultures, other emotions. I stop judging quickly. I start understanding more.
Reading builds empathy. It stretches your emotional vocabulary. You don't just feel good or bad, you feel conflicted, inspired, relieved, uncertain.
And English becomes part of that emotional journey. It's no longer just a subject, it's a companion.
I think that's why reading in English feels different from studying English. Studying asks for effort. Reading offers connection.
Connection with the author, connection with yourself, connection with the world.
And connection with time, because when you read, time slows down. You breathe differently.
I often tell learners, don't rush fluency. Let fluency come to you.
Yes, read slowly, read often, read with curiosity, not fear.
Fear blocks learning. Curiosity opens doors.
That's why our approach matters. We don't isolate grammar, we connect it. We let verbs live inside real sentences.
Because language is not a list, it's a flow.
And reading teaches you how to flow.
When you read dialogues, you learn how people interrupt, hesitate, repeat, soften their words.
You learn how silence can speak too.
That's something textbooks rarely teach.
But real English lives in nuance.
Reading also teaches discipline. You commit to a few pages every day, even when you're tired.
And that discipline quietly builds confidence.
Confidence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from familiarity.
The more you see words, the less they scare you.
The more you hear sentences in your mind, the easier it becomes to speak.
That's why listening and reading together are powerful.
Reading feeds listening, listening feeds speaking.
And speaking feeds confidence.
It's a circle, a living system.
And reading is often the doorway into that system.
I wish more learners understood that they don't need complicated methods, they need consistency.
And kindness towards themselves.
Yes, learning a language is an emotional journey.
You doubt yourself. You question your progress. You compare yourself to others.
Reading teaches you to stay with your own pace.
To trust your own rhythm.
When I look back, I see that reading shaped not just my English, but my thinking.
It made you more reflective.
More attentive.
More present.
And that presence shows in the way you speak.
Because you're not searching for words anymore, you're sharing thoughts.
That's the goal, to express, not to impress.
And reading prepares you for that.
So if someone listening right now feels stuck,
We want to say this clearly.
you are not failing.
You are building.
And building takes time.
Open a book, even a simple one.
Read a little every day.
Trust the process.
And let English become part of your life, not a burden.
That's why we created this channel.
Not to rush you.
But to walk with you.
If you are still listening, it means something resonates.
It means you are ready to learn differently.
By connection.
By repetition.
By conjugation in real life.
By living the language.
That's why subscribing matters.
Because each episode builds on the previous one.
Each conversation deepens your understanding.
Each verb connects to another.
This is not random content.
It's a journey.
So if you want English to grow naturally,
If you want to stop translating and start thinking,
if you want confidence, not pressure,
if you want confidence, not pressure,
subscribe to this channel.
stay with us.
Let reading change you.
Let English grow with you.
We are Lucas and Sophie.
And this is English Podcast by Conjugation.
You know, Sophie, sometimes I think reading is an act of courage. In a world full of noise, choosing silence is not easy.
That's true. Reading asks you to disconnect from the outside, to reconnect with yourself. And many people are afraid of that moment.
Because silence reveals thoughts, and thoughts can be uncomfortable.
But they can also be healing. When you read, you allow yourself to reflect without judgment.
I noticed that reading helped me become more patient with myself. When I don't understand a sentence, I don't panic anymore.
You pause, you breathe, you try again.
Exactly. And that patience slowly transfers into speaking.
Yes, you stop rushing your words. You stop apologizing for your English.
You accept that communication is more important than perfection.
That's a big shift. Many learners block themselves because they want to sound perfect.
But reading shows you that even native speakers hesitate, repeat themselves, and simplify ideas.
Books normalize imperfection.
Remember when you told me that reading helped you sleep better?
Yes, because reading calms the mind. It creates a ritual.
And rituals create stability.
Stability creates confidence.
Confidence changes the way you speak.
Everything is connected.
That's why we insist on verbs. Verbs are action. Verbs move ideas forward.
When you read, you see verbs in context. You see how intention changes meaning.
I try is different from I decide.
I hope is different from I plan.
Reading trains you to feel those differences.
And that feeling is what makes your English sound natural.
I also think reading expands imagination.
Absolutely. You start imagining situations where you could use English.
Conversations, trips, work meetings, friendships.
And your brain prepares silently.
That's why one day words come out naturally, without effort.
Because your brain has already rehearsed them many times while reading.
I often say reading is mental practice.
Just like athletes visualize movements before performing, language works the same way.
Another thing I love about reading is that it gives depth to vocabulary.
Yes, a word is not just a definition.
It has a mood, a tone, a context.
Reading teaches you when to use a word, not just how.
And that's what makes conversation smoother.
You don't sound robotic anymore. You sound human.
I think many people underestimate how emotional language learning is.
Very emotional. You feel pride, frustration, joy, doubt.
Reading helps you process those emotions.
Because you realize you're not alone. Others have struggled too.
Stories remind you that growth is universal,
Everyone starts somewhere.
and everyone progresses differently.
Reading teaches respect for that diversity.
Sometimes I read the same paragraph twice and discover something new.
That's because you changed, not the text.
Exactly. Reading grows with you.
That's why returning to books feels comforting.
They meet you where you are.
And they guide you gently forward.
I love that reading doesn't force speed.
It respects your pace.
That's something our channel tries to do too.
Yes, we don't push, we guide.
We don't overload, we connect.
Because learning is not accumulation.
It's integration.
And integration takes time.
If someone listening feels overwhelmed, we want to say this.
Slow down.
Read less, but read better.
Enjoy the words.
Let them stay with you.
And don't measure progress every day.
Measure it over weeks, months.
That's where real change appears.
I'm grateful that reading brought me closer to English.
And closer to myself.
And I'm grateful we can share this journey with others.
That's why this podcast exists.
To remind you that learning English can be calm, deep, and human.
Not stressful, not mechanical.
If you're still listening, thank you.
Your presence matters.
Your effort matters.
And your progress matters, even if you don't see it yet.
Stay with us.
Read with us.
Grow with us.
And let English become part of who you are.
There is something else reading gives you, Sophie. It gives you perspective. When you read regularly, problems don't feel as heavy anymore.
Yes, because you realize that every situation is temporary. Stories remind you that change is always possible.
Reading puts distance between you and your worries. You step back. You breathe.
And that distance allows clarity. You stop reacting emotionally to everything.
That's important for speaking, too. When you're calm inside, your words come out more clearly.
Stress blocks language. Calm unlocks it.
Reading creates calm. Not immediately, but gradually.
It trains the mind to focus on one thing at a time.
Which is becoming rare today.
Very rare. We are constantly interrupted. Messages, notifications, noise.
Reading resists that fragmentation.
It restores attention.
And attention is the foundation of learning.
When you can focus, you absorb more naturally.
That's why short reading sessions are better than long, forced ones.
10 focused minutes can change more than one distracted hour.
I also noticed that reading helps memory.
Because stories create associations.
Yes, words stick better when they are part of a narrative.
You remember how a word made you feel.
And emotions strengthen memory.
That's why emotional reading is powerful for language learning.
Not textbooks alone. Stories, conversations, reflections.
Reading dialogues helps especially.
You hear voices in your head.
You learn natural pauses.
You learn how people soften ideas.
How they hesitate.
How they correct themselves.
That's real English.
And reading gives you access to that reality.
Without pressure.
Without judgment.
Without comparison.
I think reading also builds independence.
Yes, you don't wait for someone to teach you.
You explore by yourself.
You choose what interests you.
And interest fuels motivation.
Motivation that lasts longer than obligation.
That's why we always encourage curiosity.
If you enjoy what you read, learning becomes effortless.
Effortless doesn't mean instant.
It means sustainable.
Reading also changes your relationship with mistakes.
You stop fearing them.
You see unfamiliar words and you accept them.
You don't need to understand everything to enjoy a text.
That acceptance transfers to speaking.
You speak even if you're not perfect.
And that's when fluency begins.
Fluency is comfort, not perfection.
Reading teaches comfort.
Comfort with uncertainty.
Comfort with ambiguity.
Comfort with growth.
I think reading teaches maturity.
Yes, intellectual and emotional maturity.
You learn that not everything needs an immediate answer.
Some questions need time.
Some ideas need silence.
Reading respects that.
That's why reading changes you deeply.
Not on the surface.
But at the core.
And that change reflects in the way you speak.
Your sentences become calmer.
More thoughtful.
More intentional.
And people feel that.
They listen differently.
Because you're present.
I believe that reading is one of the most underestimated tools in language learning.
Because its effects are invisible at first.
But powerful in the long term.
Like roots growing underground.
Exactly. One day you realize you're standing taller.
And you don't even know when it happened.
That's the beauty of it.
And that's why we want to continue this journey with our listeners.
One conversation at a time.
One book at a time.
One verb at a time.
Connected. Alive. Meaningful.
If you're listening and wondering if this works.
It does.
But only if you stay.
Stay curious.
Stay patient.
Stay consistent.
That's why we always repeat this message.
Subscribing is not just clicking a button.
It's making a commitment to yourself.
A commitment to learn calmly.
To learn deeply.
To learn differently.
This channel is built for long-term growth.
Not quick tricks.
Not shortcuts.
But real progress.
So if you believe in that,
If you want English to become part of your life,
Subscribe.
and stay with us.
We'll keep reading.
We'll keep connecting
We'll keep growing.
together.
As we reach the end of this conversation, Sophie, I realized something important. Reading didn't just help me learn English, it helped me learn how to stay with myself.
That's a beautiful way to say it. Reading teaches presence. It trains you to stay in one moment without escaping.
And that presence changes everything. When you're present, you listen better, you understand better, you speak better.
You also stop being afraid of silence.
Yes, silence becomes a friend, not an enemy.
And that's rare today. Many people are afraid of silence because silence reflects who we are.
Reading prepares you for that reflection, gently, without violence.
That's why reading feels safe.
Safe, but powerful.
Powerful because it changes you without forcing you.
I think that's why people who read regularly often speak with more depth.
Their words are not rushed.
They choose them carefully.
And people feel that intention.
Language becomes meaningful, not just functional.
And when language becomes meaningful, communication becomes real.
That's the moment when English stops being a foreign language,
It becomes a tool for expression,
a tool for connection.
a tool for growth.
Reading also teaches resilience.
Yes, because not every book is easy.
Some books challenge you.
Some confuse you,
Some make you uncomfortable.
but you continue.
And that endurance transfers into learning English.
You don't give up when a conversation becomes difficult.
You stay.
You listen.
You adapt.
Reading builds mental strength,
Quiet strength.
the kind that doesn't need to prove anything.
I think that's what success in language learning really is.
Not sounding perfect,
But feeling comfortable.
comfortable expressing ideas,
Comfortable making mistakes.
comfortable being yourself in another language.
Reading brings you there.
Slowly, naturally.
That's why we never promise miracles.
We promise a path,
A sustainable path.
a human path,
When we created this podcast, that was our intention.
to slow things down,
To reconnect learning with meaning.
to show that English doesn't have to be stressful
Or mechanical.
or overwhelming,
It can be calm.
deep.
Enjoyable.
And reading is one of the best doors into that experience.
If you take one thing from this episode, let it be this.
You don't need to do more.
You need to do better.
Better focus,
Better consistency.
better connection.
Read a little.
Every day,
Let the language settle.
let it grow.
And trust that change is happening even when you don't see it.
Because one day you will speak
And you will realize that English feels familiar,
natural.
like a second home.
That's when you'll understand the power of reading.
Before we say goodbye, we want to speak to you one last time.
If you stayed with us until now, thank you.
That means you value depth.
You value learning with meaning.
This channel exists for people like you.
People who want to grow slowly but surely.
By connecting verbs,
By connecting ideas.
by connecting language to life.
Subscribing to this channel is not just support for us,
It's a promise to yourself
a promise to continue learning,
to continue listening.
to continue growing.
Every episode you listen to reinforces that promise.
And we will keep creating content that respects your pace
Your intelligence.
and your journey.
So, if you haven't subscribed yet,
Now is the perfect moment.
join us.
Stay with us.
Let reading change you.
Let English grow with you.
We are Lucas,
And Sophie.
and this was
English Podcast. How reading changes you.
Until next time.
Take care.